Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. That is Jack. I am Conrad, and this is the 45 once again with a Premier League survival guide. This time, Fulham Football Club. Cottagers on the bounce. They had 1 year in the Premier League, 1 year back in the Championship, and now back by virtue of their win in the playoff over Brentford. Welcome back, Fulham. Let's see what they learned from their 1 year stint last year. Look at the table. The odds makers clearly have Fulham as the likeliest to get relegated, and here's the rationale why. Last year scored 64, conceded 48 in the Championship. Good for fourth position, 81 points. This is what doomed them when they were relegated from the Premier League in 18-19, is that they scored 34 and shipped 81 goals.
Yeah. Conceding 81 goals in a single campaign is not going to do very well. As simple as that. I think that they definitely learned a lot. Scott Parker, their manager, was the interim for the last, I believe, 9 matches of that campaign, and then he got the full job. So he has a little bit, albeit he got relegated that season, obviously, a bit of experience in the Premier League. And aside that, there are a lot of players being brought over, and it's going to be like a lot of the newly promoted sides we've talked about. They're bringing guys back that they had on loan last season to try and keep that continuity going, because it's kind of been the name of the game during this coronavirus pandemic is stick to what you're good at, risk takings on a very big low. So Fulham, obviously, they are one of the favorites to go down, favorites to be in 20th by a lot of people's predictions, but it's going to be interesting to see how their season pans out.
Talking a little bit about transfers. After that promotion in 17-18, they spent £100 million or so, fired 2 managers, including Premier League winning Claudio Ranieri, to your point, then put in Scott Parker. But they really messed with their chemistry. The guys that got them promoted, they kind of abandoned, and they lost a lot of that esprit de corps, if you will. And they look like they've learned from that in their early business here. Up first, Anthony Knockaert out of Brighton. Winger, 28 years old, 10 million. He's spent some time, played 63 matches for Brighton in the Premier League a couple years ago. 5 goals, 7 assists. Last year, played for Fulham on loan, now on a permanent deal.
Yeah, he's for some reason, the only Anthony Knockaert memory in my head can be when he missed that penalty in the playoff final against Watford, where Watford ended up going on. Leicester ended up winning a title a few years later, so they can say they weren't too hard done by that. But it's a smart decision. He's a guy who's got Premier League experience. He's 28. He knows your system. Scott Parker clearly trusts him. It makes sense. 10 million is not too bad for a player with Premier League experience. Those are hard to come by, and they'll have to rely on him to try and pick up some goals and assists to have a good campaign.
Second up, Harrison Reed, also former player from Southampton, was on loan, now brought in on a permanent deal. 25 years old, defensive mid, £7 million. 1 assist in his stint last year on loan, but prior year, 3 goals, 6 assists with Blackburn. So he's got some versatility. He can play in a couple of different positions.
Exactly. He does have a bit of versatility. He can play in center mid, defensive mid, right back. Question is, can he make the leap from the Championship to the Premier League? Obviously, Fulham believe in him because he was playing in their system, and it was a very possession-heavy system. Interesting stat, only Manchester City played more passes than them in the top 2 divisions. 26,330 versus 26,269 for Fulham. So they're a side that loves to dominate the ball, and Reed capable of doing that. So it makes a lot of sense systematically for Parker to bring him back.
Next up, Alphonse Areola, goalkeeper out of PSG. Spent last year with Real Madrid, just 4 appearances. Big guy, 6'5", got a lot of experience. Probably a good pick for them to help pull that 81 number down.
Exactly. 81 goals conceded, obviously, in the relegation campaign. So having a guy in the sticks who has a lot of experience is going to be very valuable on loan. It's just smart, honestly. Having a guy who's got that big-time experience, he's going to help you a lot. Just makes sense to shore down that area of the field.
They also picked up Anthony Robinson, American international. Long line of U.S. international players playing for Full America. So that happened back in August. Left back, 23 years old, 1.7 million. So I think, again, smart moves, shrewd moves. Moving on to Scott Parker. Loved, good leader, very good tactician. But is he, if they get relegated, does he actually have a shot at England?
I think that, especially after the recent matches for England, Gareth Southgate is under quite a lot of pressure. It's a golden age for England right now, and I think Scott Parker is a great man-manager. He's obviously a very positive manager with a Fulham side who don't have anywhere close to the talent of the England national team. He's playing a side that has 61.6% of the ball in most of their games, or on average. So he has that positive mentality. He has a great man manager. He's a great leader. He captained England for only a single match, but he has the experience. He has the love. And I think he's a very good guy for Fulham to try and keep them around this year. And at least for him in specific, he has great aspirations for the future. He's definitely a manager to watch in the coming years.
And I just because of him and the cohesiveness and the consistency in that side, he may be enough to help them stay up.
It will be I think it's going to be interesting to see how he manages to keep the side together.
As long as they can score more than they concede.
That's the first step.
That's a tall order. That'll do it for us. Our look at Fulham, part of the Premier League Survival Guide. That is Jack. I'm Conrad. This has been the 45. Please like, subscribe, give us some comments, tell us what you think, and find us on the Twitter at the 45. Take care now.